Hello, everybody. I'm back again, and this time we will be looking at a Seiko automatic diver. A lot of you will probably recognize this watch. It's probably nowadays the bread and butter of Seiko's dive watch line. It's called SKX007K1. Let's have some stats on it first. It has a stainless steel case, Jubilee links. It's an automatic movement, caliber 7S26, a really reliable Seiko workhorse caliber. Hardlex crystal, of course, a black dial, unidirectional bezel, luminous hands and markers, day and date display, and it's 200-meter water resistance. The case is 43 millimeters and the thickness is 13 millimeters. Right, with that aside, let's have a little look at it in the chat. Now, with watches, as with many other things, there are as many opinions as there are people. And I have a sort of, well, I'm searching for words to describe it really. I like this watch, but on the other hand, I find it a bit boring. And why do you have one, I hear you ask? I have one because it's such an iconic watch that every serious collector of dive watches must have one in his collection, and therefore I have it. But to be honest, I never really wear it, and it's not its fault because it does all it's asked to do, and it does it really well. But of all the Seiko divers that I have and that I know of, this one's probably the most boring for me. It just doesn't tickle me in any of the right places, if you can say that on on video. You have the Sumo, which looks cool, and you have my vintage Seikos, which also have that awesome vintage look to it. And this, I don't know. It's just, but please don't misunderstand me. This is an awesome watch. It's, as I said before, it is an iconic watch. It's tried and tested. It's really, really good quality. It outperforms a lot of other watches whom are much more expensive than this. And now these get sold for not a lot of money. About £100 or something like that. That's of course also money, but it's in the low range of divers watches, and especially when you think about the really good quality automatic movement that you have in this watch, and the quality it's built in, it's actually a really good value for money. My only problem with this watch is it just doesn't do anything for me. And the only reason I've been tempted to sell it sometimes, but again, I always end up thinking, no, you can't call yourself a lover of Seiko divers watches if you haven't got an SKX007K1. And so therefore, this is probably going to stay in my collection. And it's interesting because this is the latest of I have some vintage Seikos, and it's like the picture one has of the apes and the Neanderthal and finally modern man, and the same with dive watches. I have the old watches and they get newer and newer, and then this is the latest. This is the Homo sapien of Casio's dive line. And I know people who swear by this watch, and I probably I've said that it has a lot of really good qualities about it. So you could say that I swear by this watch too. It just doesn't interest me that much. But you can't get around the fact that it is an extremely well-built watch, very successful at what it does. So there you have it. I hope I don't get bombarded by lovers of Seiko divers who all want to kill me because I've said that I find this watch boring. It's just that, in my opinion, there are lots of other much more interesting dive watches from Seiko, around. That doesn't mean that I want to get rid of this watch or anything. I don't. I'm going to keep it in my collection. It's just a wee bit boring. Anyway, now I've said it's boring lots of times. If you have an opinion, you can always write it underneath the video. Well, that's it, I guess. I can't think of anything else to say about this watch. It's, yeah, that's it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.